Hello viewers, welcome to my channel SS of the News.
In a new twist that has stunned political watchers and captivated the public once more, former President Donald J. Trump has found himself at the center of another controversy, this time involving a potential pardon for Joseph Maldonado Passage. More famously known as Joe Exotic, the eccentric zookeeper made world famous by the Netflix docuseries Tiger King. With rumors swirling of renewed discussions between Trump's inner circle and a sitting Congresswoman advocating for Exotic's release, speculation is mounting over whether a pardon could finally be within Joe Exotic's reach. A resurrected push for pardon. Joe Exotic is currently serving a 21-year prison sentence on multiple charges, including murder for hire and wildlife violations. He has always maintained his innocence and claimed he was the victim of a conspiracy involving business rivals, law enforcement, and former allies. While he had previously sought clemency from then-President Trump during his time in office, his petition failed to gain traction, despite a flashy limousine and legal team standing by in hopes of an 11th-hour release during Trump's final hours as president. Now, with the 2024 presidential race behind him and eyes already on 2028, Donald Trump seems to be entertaining the idea of granting a pardon. This time with the backing of a vocal female congresswoman whose name has been frequently mentioned in Capitol Hill corridors. This congresswoman, believed to be a staunch Trump ally and frequent critic of the justice system, has been reportedly advocating for what she calls justice reform for political targets. Her renewed interest in Exotic's case, reportedly sparked by a recent visit to the Federal Medical Center where Exotic is housed, could be the political energy needed to reignite talks of clemency. Political theater or strategic move? Critics argue that the entire episode may be more about headlines than justice. For Trump, whose political brand has always walked the tightrope between media-savvy theatrics and controversial populist moves, backing a pardon for Joe Exotic might offer a way to energize a disillusioned segment of his base. Exotic, despite his crimes, still holds a place in the hearts of millions who see him as a misunderstood, if flamboyant, anti-hero. The involvement of the Congresswoman, an outspoken populist herself, adds legitimacy to what could otherwise be dismissed as another celebrity-driven plea. She has reportedly said that Exotic's trial was riddled with inconsistencies and painted as a media spectacle rather than a fair trial. In private briefings with fellow legislators, she has gone so far as to claim that Exotic was railroaded by a corrupt system looking to make an example of a loud, gay, unconventional man. Whether Trump is seriously considering this or merely relishing the spectacle remains to be seen. But his recent public comments during a private event, where he said, "Some people were done wrong by the system, and maybe it's time to fix that," have set off alarms and celebrations in equal measure. Exotic's legal team reacts. Joe Exotic's legal team has jumped on the new momentum. In a recent statement, his lead attorney indicated that new evidence might be brought forward if a pardon becomes a real possibility. The legal camp claims that Exotic's conviction was based on faulty witness testimonies and suppressed evidence, which could have significantly changed the outcome of his trial. While appeals courts have thus far upheld his conviction, his legal team sees a presidential pardon as the only viable path to freedom. "We're cautiously optimistic," the lawyer said in a recorded phone call. "We believe President Trump has always had an open ear for injustices, and with congressional interests now backing us, we feel Joe has never been closer to freedom." The statement was followed by a cryptic post on social media from Joe Exotic himself. In the post, written presumably from his prison cell, he wrote, "I always knew the truth would win out. Thank you to those who are standing by me." The Congresswoman's role. The identity of the Congresswoman backing Joe Exotic's pardon has not been officially confirmed, but multiple names have been floated. Insiders believe her to be a figure known for fiery speeches, controversial stances, and an unwavering defense of Trump during his impeachments and legal challenges. She reportedly began exploring Exotic's case months ago after receiving letters from his supporters. After an internal staff review of his case documents, including court transcripts, prosecutorial conduct, and FBI communications, she became convinced that something was amiss. Her advocacy has included closed-door meetings with Trump's legal advisors and outreach to key Republican donors who might influence Trump's decision. While she has faced backlash for throwing her support behind a convicted felon, she has stood her ground, insisting the justice system doesn't always get it right. And when it doesn't, we have a duty to speak up. Reactions from the public and political circles. The idea of a Trump-backed pardon for Joe Exotic has divided public opinion and stirred intense debate across social media and news panels. On one side are those who view Exotic as a victim of overreach, a man persecuted more for his personality than his actions. On the other side are those who see him as a convicted criminal who should serve out his sentence without interference. Political commentators are equally divided. Some see this as a distraction tactic aimed at diverting attention from other issues. Others argue it's a savvy play by Trump to keep himself relevant in the post-presidency world by staying connected to high-profile stories that appeal to a broad demographic. One conservative strategist noted, Trump knows how to stay in the news. A Joe Exotic pardon would guarantee headlines, and let's face it, people eat this stuff up. It's all part of the Trump playbook. However, progressive lawmakers have voiced outrage at the possibility. One senator publicly condemned the potential pardon, saying, if we start using presidential power to reward Netflix celebrities instead of focusing on real systemic reform, we undermine justice. The broader implications. A Trump-led pardon for Joe Exotic wouldn't just be symbolic. It would spark serious questions about the boundaries of presidential pardon powers, the influence of media narratives on justice, and the ethics of celebrity status being used to override legal outcomes. This case also raises broader issues regarding criminal justice reform, selective enforcement, and the need for transparency in high-profile trials. The Congresswoman involved has stated that she hopes this advocacy will shine a spotlight on the thousands of others whose names we may never know, suffering under flawed convictions. Critics, however, are skeptical that such a high-profile and controversial figure is the right poster child for justice reform. If we start with Joe Exotic, what message are we sending? Asked a legal scholar during a televised panel discussion. That fame can buy freedom? What's next? As of now, no official steps toward a pardon have been filed, but insiders close to Trump have hinted that exploratory talks are happening behind the scenes. The Congresswoman is reportedly preparing to draft a formal letter urging clemency and is expected to speak about it during her upcoming town hall. Joe Exotic's team is also preparing to submit a refreshed clemency petition that includes new character references, evidence of legal misconduct, and letters from influential political figures. Inmates and staff at the prison where he is housed have reportedly been buzzing with excitement and speculation. Meanwhile, Trump remains characteristically ambiguous, neither confirming nor denying his intentions. Yet, in a political landscape where celebrity, controversy, and politics are increasingly intertwined, few would be surprised if this story gains more traction in the coming months. One thing is certain, Joe Exotic's saga is far from over. Whether it ends with a pardon from the 45th President of the United States remains to be seen, but the mere possibility ensures the tale will stay in the public consciousness for some time to come. Final thoughts. In an America still reeling from political polarization, media obsession, and a growing distrust of institutions, the Joe Exotic case encapsulates many of the cultural contradictions at play. It mixes entertainment with law, justice with drama, and politics with personality. Whether this results in Joe Exotic walking free or simply adds another chapter to an already outrageous life story remains an open question. But if history has taught anything about Donald Trump, it's that he thrives in chaos, revels in spectacle, and never shies away from controversy. With the backing of a bold Congresswoman and the eyes of the world watching once more, the tiger cage may yet be unlocked, not with a key, but with a signature.